So my previous Final Fantasy video is taking a little bit longer than expected, so we're going to do this instead. What's up you guys, OperationGamer here, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we are going to be doing something a little different. I mentioned in my Final Fantasy ranking, I don't remember exactly where I said it, but I was like, maybe I should do a battle theme ranking for the Final Fantasy series. And I was thinking, you know, my other video that I'm trying to do is taking a little longer than expected, so you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do one now. I'm gonna be doing this a little bit differently compared to my previous couple ranking videos. Instead, I'm gonna be doing a tier list. I absolutely love video game music. I think it definitely deserves to be in the mainstream of music, to be perfectly honest. And some people might call me weird for that, but I personally really don't care. And if there's one thing that I absolutely love about RPGs, turn-based RPGs, whatever, it's definitely the music. And Final Fantasy is definitely one of those, like, top tier when it comes to, like, battle ranking, or sorry, not battle rankings, battle music, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna be doing a battle theme ranking today. I have my games, my list of games down here, and you might notice that there are quite a few copies of, like, you know, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Basically, I'm gonna be looking at all of them. Hopefully all of them. These are basically like every single version of each game, because as much as the battle theme itself, like the melody and all that, is the same, they definitely sound different, and I personally like specific versions of specific tracks more. Kind of like, you know, 10 and 10-2, not 10 and 2, but, you know, 10 and 10 Remaster. Both of them have their own variations of the theme, but I have, like, my personal favorite, so I thought this would be pretty cool. Full disclosure real quick, I'm sure that I don't have all of the versions of every single one of these. These are just the ones that I know and can get access to. Well, besides the mobile versions, I really don't care about the mobile versions, honestly. And I would like to also preface and say that I am not a music major or anything like that. I'm just a dumb gamer who loves video game music, as well as there's just something to be appreciated, just all the work that these guys do on all of these games. So, and like I said, I 100% know that I don't have them all, and these are going to be mostly the mainline titles. I know you guys can see, like, 10-2, 13-2, 13-3, and whatever the hell this is down here. Those were just here this was like the best ranking list that I could find on this website, and then I had to add in a few of my own for this video. So we're gonna be going through all of these, and if you guys are coming here from my Final Fantasy ranking, you guys might know some of my opinions on some of these games. Maybe I'll talk about them a little more and how my opinions have slightly changed on some of them. But yeah, we are going to go through this here. I'm just now noticing that 15 has more than one battle, like, main battle theme. There's not bosses, not final bosses, just the main battle themes. If I have to add more, then I will. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this list started. We have from S to F, and yeah, we're just gonna go through them right now. So first things first, we have the NES version of Final Fantasy 1, the original, as soon as everything starts. Full disclosure, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 1 on the NES. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. The mixing is very iffy. But I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 1 on the NES for a video that's going to be coming out soon. And I don't get tired of this theme, man. Yeah, there's that. So that starts off the whole where the next few games, it has like that iconic like bass line, the you know, that kind of stuff. To me, the first Final Fantasy battle theme is good. It's not like really good, like something I'd listen to all the time, and it's definitely not my favorite version of this song. But it's definitely really good, a good like solid like baseline for an original NES game. I have no I don't have any like personal bias towards the NES version. I have a lot of personal bias, honestly, towards the Dawn of Souls, the Game Boy Advance version. I really love that version. To me, this is fine. I think it's gonna go in a nice solid C tier for me personally. Once again, I would like to say this is all just my opinion. If you guys would like to share your opinions in the comments below, please let me know. I know some people can say that this version can be kind of bland, which I can kind of see where that's coming from. I think it's a nice solid C tier, a good just like rhythm to get you through the game. Not something I would get tired of personally. But anyway, now we're going to be moving on to the PS1 version. Very much hoping that is the original PS1 version. If it's not, then whatever. That one, I'm kind of iffy on. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. It's definitely not one that I would listen to like often. Not one that I would get tired of. I definitely think it adds a little more than the original NES version. I think this one, for my personal taste, I would like to put in B tier. And I'm probably going to be changing these around. Don't get me wrong. But it definitely adds a lot more than the NES version, and I think I really, yeah. And then just so you know, the ones that I'm gonna save for S tier is something that I would like go on a walk and just constantly listen to and just not get tired of it. Like maybe I'd listen to it for an hour and just not get tired of it. I definitely would get a little bit tired of the PS version, just a little bit, but I definitely think it adds a little more than the NES version. All right, so next up is the Dawn of Souls, my personal favorite. All right. Trying to bar my personal bias from this, because this is the version that I played the most, was the Dawn of Souls versions for Final Fantasy 1. It definitely, I personally like it a little more than the PlayStation version. I definitely do think it would be something that I would get tired of hearing on loop, but definitely something that I wouldn't get tired of hearing every single time I enter a battle, because I love that like that sound chip of the bass line. So for Dawn of Souls, I think I'm gonna have both. I changed my mind. I'm gonna put both of these, the PS1 version and Dawn of Souls, in A tier. I personally like the Dawn of Souls one better. That there's a little bit of personal bias in that, but this is definitely a battle theme that I would listen to often and often for a long time. So I'm gonna put Dawn of Souls up ahead of the PS1 version, and we're gonna put the NES up in B tier here, mostly because I think out of all like the bass riffs I think this one is, I think it's either my second or third favorite. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna put it for now. It might be subject to change, but whatever. This will just tell you how well this video is gonna go. All right, so now we're gonna look up the PSP version. Okay, so apparently I'm not finding the PSP on YouTube, which is stupid. So we're gonna move on to the Pixel Remaster. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for rock versions of stuff. This one I'm not feeling. At least my initial ones. Hold on, let me... Maybe it's just the version I'm listening to. Hold on. I like the beginning. This is during gameplay. Yeah, that one sounds a lot better. Sorry, I know this is weird. Alright, I think I've heard enough. Especially, I don't want to confuse you guys with that shit. So, I think it was just the quality of the other one that was kind of putting me off. The Pixel Remaster one is good. It's definitely not a theme that I've listened to a lot. So I think there's a little bit of like personal bias there. But if I were to rank it honestly, I would say it definitely deserves to be an A rank, but I'm gonna put it below the PlayStation 1 version. I like it. I like the beginning intro, but I think that I like the original, like how the PS1 sounds just a little bit better. And I still am not able to find the PSP version of this game, and I don't know why the hell I can't. Anyway, I'll try to look for it later, but for the sake of time, we'll just move on for now. So now we are on to Final Fantasy II. All right. I didn't think Final Fantasy II was that bad of a game. I definitely do like the battle theme of 2. I think this sounds better than the Game Boy Advance version. It's just not my favorite. It's good. I think it's definitely like middle of the road, honestly. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. All right. Let's go to the PS1 version. Okay. Kind of what I was thinking throughout that. I don't know why it seems like a lot for just a battle theme. And this is throwing my bias out of the window for how I felt about Final Fantasy II as a game. It just feels like a lot. Like it's a good theme. It just seems like a lot for just a normal battle theme. Especially when like in the Game Boy Advance version, in particular, when like you're given that, oh god, when it flashes on screen when you go into a battle, it's just like sudden and like holy shit, all right, cool. But I guess I can say the same thing about Final Fantasy X. But I guess that one, I don't know. We'll talk about Final Fantasy X when we get there. For Final Fantasy II for the PS1, I'll drop it below. Nah. I like it better than the NES version. I'm gonna put it I'm at the bottom of B tier. I like the theme. It just seems like a lot for a battle theme, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the GBA version. This is the one that I remember listening to the most. I'm not gonna lie, like the high pitched, like, kind of hurts my ears. Maybe it's just the version I'm listening to, but. Alright. I'm gonna drop that below the PS1 version. I think for once, for the first time, as far as I can see, I like the PS1 version a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna come down here. I like the theme. Don't get me wrong, but it's not something I'd listen to like consistently. It's not a bad theme to warrant it to go down in D or F, but like, it's a good theme. It's just not something I would listen to consistently. And I think and I think that's how I'm gonna go for B, A, and S. Is if I would listen to it because I wanted to hear it, I'll put it in B. If it's something I listen to consistently, I'll put it in A. If it's something I absolutely love and would just play it every single time that I would just be out and about, I would put it in S. C will just be like, I like the theme, but it's just not something I'd go out of my way to listen to. D is just, I'm not a big fan of the theme, and then F is just being bad, which I don't think should exist at all, honestly, because there's not really any bad themes. Actually, well, there could be a joke, but that I could put, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. All right, let's see if I can find the PSP version of this one. Nope, can't find it. All right, for the sake of time, we're just gonna continue. Pixel Remaster Battle. I like that better. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like the Pixel Remaster version the best. I think it definitely sounds a lot better. I'm gonna put that at the bottom of B. Because like I said, it's a good theme. I think if I were to go towards any version of the Final Fantasy II battle theme, I would definitely go with the Pixel Remaster. I just think it sounds a lot better. Okay, moving on, we're going to be going to Final Fantasy III. Ever since my Final Fantasy ranking, for those of you who don't know, 3 was at the bottom of my list. That's because I played the DS version, and I just had a lot of issues with it when I originally played it. Final Fantasy 3, I don't hate Final Fantasy 3. I definitely think there's just some gameplay stuff that I had issues with personally, so I don't hate it, but it's just not my favorite. But I will admit, when I first heard the NES version of Final Fantasy III, I was bopping. I mean, I love the Final Fantasy 1 version, or the Final Fantasy 1 theme, don't get me wrong, but Final Fantasy 3's is really good. I wasn't a big fan of the DS version, but I really like the NES version. This one I'm going to put at the bottom of A tier. Actually, no. No. I'm going to put in between the final... No, I'll keep it there. This is definitely something I would go out of my way to listen to on repeat a couple times. It's definitely my favorite NES version, or NES theme out of all of them. But yeah, I really like the NES version of Final Fantasy III's battle theme. Alright, now we're going to go to the DS version. It's not a bad theme. I just think the sound chips make it sound so much better. Sorry, I know I cut that off early. It's not a bad theme. Like I said, I think the NES sound chips make the theme sound, the melody and stuff, sound better. I'm going to drop it at the bottom of B tier. Actually, I'm going to drop it at the top of C tier. And that's just because the melody is good. It's a good theme. I just wouldn't go out of my way to listen to at least this specific version. And that's barring off my personal bias towards Final Fantasy III. I like the theme. It's definitely not my favorite, and just not one that I would go out of my way to listen to. Alright. The Pixel Remaster theme. This one, I don't think I've listened to. Okay. Oh! I'm not gonna lie, I really like that. I like the NES version better, but that's really good. I don't think I'm gonna do it at the top of B tier. I like the theme. I definitely would listen to it a couple times and go out of my way to find it. I still like the NES version just a little bit better, just because I like the sound of it. But and I'm a big rock nerd, but I like that. I really like that. I'm just gonna bar off the PSP versions for now, just because like I'm obviously not finding them, and I don't know if it's like different from that, but whatever. Okay, let's move on to Final Fantasy IV for the SNES. I think that is the PS1 version and the NES or SNES version. Do they sound the same? I remember hearing this. All right. So I'm gonna do a little bit of mixing up here. I think I'm gonna put the Final Fantasy III version at the bottom, at the top of B tier, and I'm gonna have the Final Fantasy IV. I like it a little bit more than Final Fantasy I. It's really good. I definitely think it captures a good battle a lot. But I really, really like I really like Final Fantasy IV's battle theme. Definitely something that I would play consistently, but not something that I would like I'd play for hours. Anyway, I want to see if the PS1 version is any different. All right, I definitely made. All right, so the I'll keep it. I'll just keep them with each other. Yeah. Just because, I mean, I think it runs better on the SNES. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll put it for that. That's stupid, but okay. Let's go to the advanced version. I guess. The compressed audio really does not help its case, I will admit. I'm gonna go for like a max of like 30 seconds on each, just to kind of help us on time. But it's good. It's just not a version that I would personally listen to. The theme isn't bad. It's just like it's okay. The compressed audio definitely does not help its case. I haven't listened to this version in a while, so I don't know what to expect. So, actually, fun fact, when I was playing through all the games for my ranking, I played through Final Fantasy IV on the DS. A lot of people have had issues with that. I didn't know that. I was under the impression that Final Fantasy IV on the DS was the only version that brought back all the stuff from the original Japanese version. But I guess I was wrong, because the PS1 actually does revive all that stuff. So, I like the DS version. It's good. It's definitely a good alternative. It's definitely something that I would listen to more than the Final Fantasy III soundtrack, but not something that I would go to immediately. I definitely would go to the 4.1 or the NES SNES version more, because I think I like the way that one sounds better. All right, Pixel Remaster. I still haven't played any of the Pixel remasters except for the ones that I had to do for the video. But alright. I think I got a feel of it. So, I like it. It's not one that I would go out of my way to listen to often. But I definitely do like it a little more than the... No, I like it a little less than the Final Fantasy III one. I'm going to put that right there in the B tier. Alright, Final Fantasy V. This one in particular, I don't remember that well. All right. This one in particular just isn't that memorable to me. It's a good theme, so I'm definitely gonna stick it in C tier. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way with the PS1 version, with them being the same. Because that one I do remember playing on. Now that I hear it, I remember it on PS1. So I'll stick them side by side since I already have them up here. It's a good theme. It's just not something that's memorable to me personally. It's not something I go out of my way to go and listen to. Kind of like the Final Fantasy 2 soundtrack. It's not something I go out of my way to listen to, and I like it slightly better than 3, but I think the 4 Advanced sounds a little better. All right, GBA. If I were to choose any of the Final Fantasy V themes to go listen to, I would not pick the GBA version. I haven't played the GBA version yet. I know I need to. Once again, it's a good theme. It's just not the one that I would pick so far over the other one. The track is just not memorable to me personally, so I guess there's a little bit of a bias, but that's the reason why I'm going to drop it there. I like the theme. It's just not something that I would go out of my way to listen to a lot of the time. And Final Fantasy V is a good game. I guess I didn't really play it for the music. Because you know, everyone knows the track that I love best from Final Fantasy V is definitely that Battle on the Big Bridge. But the main battle theme, it's a good piece. It's just not something that's really memorable to me. Okay, let's go to Pixel Remaster. This one I remember because the most recently that I played Final Fantasy V was for my ranking for the Pixel Remaster. So the Pixel Remaster of 5 I did play through quite a bit. I think this is the first Pixel Remaster that I'm gonna put ahead of the original. Not below 2. No, not below 2. If I were to pick a version of the Final Fantasy V soundtrack to listen to, it would be the Pixel Remaster. Anyway, now we move on to Final Fantasy VI. I know a lot of people hold Final Fantasy VI in such high regard, and I do too. I love Final Fantasy VI. It's not my favorite battle theme though. I like the track. It's kind of like Final Fantasy V. I mostly remember the boss version, the boss theme of Final Fantasy VI more than I do the battle theme. The battle theme is all right. From what I remember, because I also had to play Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster for the video. I remember really liking the Pixel Remaster battle theme more than the original. It's going in B tier because it's a good theme. I definitely like it more than the Final Fantasy V. It's just gonna go to the bottom of B tier because it's a really good theme. It's just not something I would listen to often. You know what? I'm still gonna put it above 2 though. It's just not something I would... Something that I would listen to. No, but if I'm going by those rules. If I'm going by those rules, this is what's going to happen. It's not something I would go out of my way to listen to. If I'm sticking with those rules. All right. I got to be fair. I know some of my ranking criteria kind of sucks, but I'm slowly but surely learning. Let's go with the Game Boy Advance version. No. No. No, God, no. I don't like that at all. I mean, you know, obviously, you know, the Game Boy Advance has very compressed audio, but, like, that's awful. I don't like that. Yeah, I think we have our first D tier. I really don't like that. No, I don't like that at all. Wow. This definitely feels like a battle theme that would get annoying the more that I played it. The more that I would get into battles. I just don't like the way it sounds. Maybe that's just me being comparative to the original, but like that does not sound good. It feels like it's trying to be Final Fantasy V, but just isn't. Yeah. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion or not, but God, I don't like the way that sounds. Yeah, I'm leaving that in D tier. That's the lowest ranking one so far. Come on. The Pixel remasters were amazing ports. Not perfect, but they were great ports. Once again, it's just going to go to the bottom of B tier. It's definitely something that I would listen to. If I were out and about and I wanted to listen to the Final Fantasy VI battle theme, I would personally go with the Pixel remaster, kind of like with 5. Yeah. I personally like I'm a sucker for rock music, so I personally like the rock version better than the original. The original is still really good. I just wouldn't go out of my way to listen to the original. But I would go out of my way to listen to the rock version. Regardless, Final Fantasy VI is still an amazing game. I need to preface that. But the GBA version, I haven't played the GBA version, so I think these opinions might change. You never know; these opinions might change. Okay, now moving on to the ones that don't have multiple versions we need to listen to. Final Fantasy VII. That's been long enough. That's my first S tier. I really like, as much as I admit that Final Fantasy VII is not the best Final Fantasy game out there, regardless of other people's opinions, I love the battle theme, dude. This one I would 100% listen to for hours and hours upon end. If I was running some sort of like D&D campaign with Cloud in it or something like that, or anything, I would totally listen to the Final Fantasy VII battle theme. I really like the remake version of it too, but you can't beat the original. You can't beat the original. So, me personally, I think Final Fantasy VII is our first S tier. Alright, now it's time for Final Fantasy VIII. So, I have many opinions on Final Fantasy VIII. The story wasn't for me. The weapon upgrade system was bad. I didn't like the junction system. Was also just bad. I didn't like it. It was a good idea on paper, but just it's in execution. It was just not good. I still haven't played the Triple Triad yet. I plan on doing another replay of Final Fantasy VIII to see if my opinion changes with the Triple Triad. But like a lot of people were like yelling at me in the comments saying that you need to play Triple Triad in order to do this, and that. And it's just like, if you're relying on a mini game to make the game fun, then the game is not fun. But I have a lot of issues with 8. But the one thing that I will admit that 8 has some pretty damn good music. And that battle theme is one of them. Final Fantasy VIII, self-admittedly, is something that I would listen to over and over again. At least the battle theme. I'm going to put it in between 4 and 1. Because it's a great battle theme. I definitely would listen to 4 a little more than I would 8. But I would listen to 8 more than I would listen to 1. But yeah, regardless of your opinion on Final Fantasy VIII, it has a really good soundtrack. The boss theme especially. Anyway, Final Fantasy IX. Love this theme! I'm already past the 30-second mark, but I don't care. No contest. No fucking contest, dude. I love Final Fantasy IX's battle theme. So when it comes to like battle themes in general, there's specifically normally like 2 types. One that's like very serious and like hardcore. The other one that's just fun. That is one of those fun ones, and I would self-admittedly listen to the Final Fantasy IX battle theme over 7's. I still love 7's. It's like 7's sounds a lot more serious, while Final Fantasy IX's is a lot more fun. Huh. I love Final Fantasy IX's battle theme, dude. It's one of my favorite, like with that like classic like bass line at the beginning. One of my favorites. I need to go back and replay Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX was such a good game, and honestly, my list might be slightly changing depending on how these next few replays go. But yeah, Final Fantasy IX, that is my #1 Final Fantasy theme. At least so far. Okay, so we're going to move on to Final Fantasy X, my personal favorite Final Fantasy game. Self-admittedly, this plus like the shattering definitely just kind of like gives you that same jump scare that like Final Fantasy II does. But Final Fantasy X, in my personal opinion, does it a lot better. I personally like the Final Fantasy X boss theme more, and I would definitely listen to that one more. But the original Final Fantasy X, I would probably put in the middle of S tier. That might be a controversial opinion, and I really don't care. And that might be self-bias. But I definitely would listen to this one over and over and over again. I love the theme of Final Fantasy X. I love the battle theme. The remastered version, on the other hand... It's good. I mean, it's the fucking Final Fantasy X theme. But there's just something about the simplistic nature of the original that makes the original better, in my personal opinion. I would still listen to the remastered version of Final Fantasy X if I absolutely had to. Because I still love the theme. It's going to be at the top of A tier for me. But I personally like the original better. It's not the best battle theme, but it's a great one. And it's one that, and if I'm going by my personal rules, if it's something that I would listen to over and over and over again, that ranks a high spot. So that's why Final Fantasy X is going to be an S, and the remaster will be an A. Okay, so next up is Final Fantasy XI. I know it's an online MMO. Final Fantasy XI is still the only Final Fantasy game that I have not played yet. I dabbled a little bit into 14, and so far it's going all right. I haven't played it in a while, and I know I need to get back on that bandwagon, but yeah. All right, so here we go. I got a feel for it. I've never heard that battle theme before. And it was good. Not something that I would totally go out of my way to listen to, but it was good. I'm sure if I played a lot more Final Fantasy XI, I would maybe listen to that quite a bit more often. So, for that reason, I'm going to put it in B tier. I'll put it between the original Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. Mostly because I don't have a whole lot of history with Final Fantasy XI. I haven't played it, but the battle theme is good. And if I were to have played it a little more, I would listen to it on a pretty good basis. All right, so now comes the moment of peace. Final Fantasy XII. It doesn't have a battle theme. So Final Fantasy XII is a lot more of an atmospheric game. The music for Final Fantasy XII isn't super memorable to me. I will admit that the boss theme is really good, but it doesn't have battle music. It just has your environment. So I'm just gonna put Final Fantasy XII down here and just doesn't have one and get rid of F tier because there's no F tier songs in this list. All right, we're getting close to the end. I will see if I can try to find these, and I don't know if I'm gonna be doing the sequels, mostly because I don't know what the hell this is. But yeah, Final Fantasy 13. This will be a fun one. I don't care what you have to say about Final Fantasy 13, whether it's your favorite, whether you hate it, whether the entirety of the Final Fantasy fandom hates it. It has great music, and that is how I feel about it. Final Fantasy 13's main battle theme, one of my favorite tracks in the game. At least I haven't played the sequels yet, and I would like to, but going in with an unbiased opinion, I really like the theme of Final Fantasy 13, and it's one of my favorite things about the battle system. It's just the fucking music. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I love getting into fights, especially when you run into an enemy and the battle theme starts like as you're like striking up a pose to start the fight. It's so good. In fact, I'm gonna do this. I don't know how much this is pissing people off that the newer versions are outranking some of the older versions. It just shows you how much this series is evolving, and this isn't me just saying just like, oh, these are down here, these are bad. No, I love these battle themes. I love them all. There's just some that I would listen to a little more than others, and I think that's what like the bottom line that should be taken from this is like the series is evolving as much as it can be, and all of these battle themes are great. Obviously, you know, there's just some things that some people are gonna like more than others. But anyway, yeah, I really like the battle theme from 13, regardless of what anyone thinks about the game itself. It has really good music. I do change my mind though. I'm gonna put it back right there. All right, Final Fantasy 14 battle theme. Now, I don't know if this is another one of those. Yeah, it looks like this is another one of those games that do have multiple battle themes. I'm just gonna go with the one that I know the best. I'm gonna listen to a couple to try to be fair. My opinion is probably going to shift a lot because I haven't played a lot of Final Fantasy 14. But it's got good music. As much as I'm not a big fan of MMOs, I do really like the music from I guess that doesn't make any fucking sense. But from the 3 themes that I've listened to so far, because like a lot of these, it looks like it's just kind of fate themes and boss themes and blah 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 blah. Because I'm in a playlist for all battle themes. I mean, they sound fairly similar, and it has good music. It's definitely not something that I would go out of my way to listen to. I'll put it right there. I like the themes, and it's kind of the same thing as Final Fantasy 11. If I played more of 14, maybe I enjoy the music a little more. But currently, that's just kind of how I feel. Okay, so Final Fantasy 15 was a huge controversial one that when I released it. My personal favorite theme from Final Fantasy 15 is Carening into Darkness, I believe it's called. But when I look at Final Fantasy 15, the main battle theme that comes to my mind anyway is definitely Stand Your Ground. So I'm gonna be using that. I know you get different battle themes depending on what region you're in, but honestly, Stand Your Ground is the best in my personal opinion. Anyway, here we go. Sorry, I know I'm kind of breaking my own rules here. I've listened to this theme more times than I can count. It's not S tier for me. It's not like the #1 theme, but I would listen to it. I would listen to it more than the Final Fantasy X remastered version. Final Fantasy 15, there obviously, you know, has a lot of flaws in it. It's what it is. I'm not a big fan of it needing to have other media to understand the story. When you do pop into it, you can sort of understand what's going on. It's a very minimalist view, but it's still a good story in my personal opinion. And I personally really, even though the combat is very simplistic, I still enjoy it. I really enjoy the music of this game too. Like, judging it solely just off of the music, it has a really, really good music. And Stand Your Ground is one of my favorites. Not quite S tier for me, but definitely top of A tier. Okay. Now, looking at our list, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find the PSP versions. I've tried looking everywhere. I even tried looking on Google to see if there was like an MP3 version of it. So I'm gonna leave these off for now, and I'm not going to judge the rest of these right here. The sequels, the basically everything before 16, I'm not gonna judge them because unlike Final Fantasy 11 and 14, they're not mainline entries, and I would like to play the game for myself before I officially like judge them. So I'm just gonna leave the sequels and whatever the hell this is at the bottom, and maybe we'll come back and we'll do a revamped list with many more. So the final contender is Final Fantasy XVI's battle theme. And we're just going to go with the standard battle theme. I know there's many battle theme, but those are more fucking boss fights. So here we go. Now, if this theme was like the boss fight stuff, like the do no 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 no, that song, that would go in immediate S tier. This one I do like, and I think this one's gonna go to the top of A tier. This might just be recency bias because I've played Final Fantasy 16 more recently, but I really love the theme of Final Fantasy 16. I would listen to it more than I would 15. But 15 is a very close second. And yeah, I think that's going to be my official tier list. So just to kind of recap, we got our S tier, which is the Final Fantasy 9 theme, which I absolutely love. Final Fantasy 10 and Final Fantasy 7. All of these I would listen to on repeat without giving a shit. A tier, we have ourselves Final Fantasy 16, 15, the remastered version of 10, 4, 13, 8, 1 Dawn of Souls, 1 PS3, and 1 Pixel Remaster. These are ones that I personally would definitely listen to, just not on repeat over and over and over and over again. But it would be on repeat for a little bit. For B tier, we have Final Fantasy 4 DS, Final Fantasy 3 NES, Final Fantasy 3 Pixel Remaster, Final Fantasy 4 Pixel Remaster, Final Fantasy Original NES, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 5 and Final Fantasy 6 Pixel Remaster. These are ones that I would go out of my way to look up if I ever want to listen to a good battle theme, just not on total repeat. We have C tier, which is Final Fantasy 6, both NES or SNES and PS1. Final Fantasy 2 Pixel Remaster, Final Fantasy 4 Advance, Final Fantasy 5, both original and PS1. Final Fantasy 5 Advance, Final Fantasy 3 DS, Final Fantasy 2 PS1, Final Fantasy 2 Dawn of Souls, Final Fantasy 2 NES. These are ones that I like the themes, they're just not something that I go out of my way to go and find. And then we have the one in D tier, which is Final Fantasy 6 Advance. These are just ones that I'm just not a big fan of. I really don't like how this one sounds. And then right here at the very bottom, Final Fantasy 12, which it doesn't have a battle theme. So yep, that was my battle themes ranking, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making this. And using this tier maker website. This was a lot of fun. If you guys want to see more of these, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I'd love to do like Kingdom Hearts or Persona or something like that. Just, you know, I really love the music of these games, even though I'm not like a music major or anything like that. I'm just a lover of video game music. And if this is something else you would like to see, or if you have any other suggestions, you want me to do a Final Fantasy boss music ranking, let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do you guys doing that YouTube? Follow me on Twitter at OperationGamer1. All that cool stuff. If you guys want me to return after I do eventually do these games or am able to find the PSP versions of these guys on YouTube, or you guys know where I can find them, please let me know in the comments below. And let me know your rankings too. Which one is your favorite battle theme throughout the entire series? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.